Alright, what is going on, guys? It is Benny, and today I have a complete guide for playing Minor Poison. We're going to go over the offense, the defense, and also do a live match to tie everything and all the little tricks together. I do hope that you guys find this helpful, and I hope that you guys enjoy. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into it. So to start us off, where should you play your very first Minor? And in my opinion, it should be right here in this anti-tornado spot. One tile up from the middle and one tile out. In this position, it's really hard for your opponent to get a King Tower activation using a tornado, and this is a really good safe first play that you might make. Once you start to see what cards they have, they might play Bowler, and that's a red flag for them having Tornado. Then you can start to change up your Minor position anywhere on the Princess Tower. I think it's kind of self-explanatory. You can play a Minor here, you can play a Minor here, or you can play a Minor here for the most part, but it is really important to make sure that you're always changing up your Minor placement, because then it's really easy for your opponent to predict where you're putting your Minor. I will constantly change up my Minor position, sometimes putting it in front of the tower, and other times I'll play the Minor behind the tower, sometimes to mix it up, and sometimes to spread out my push that's going on the tower. Now, there's two more Minor placement spots that you can use that can change up the way you're playing your Minor. The first is going to be on the inside of the tower right here. It's less predictable of a place, and it won't be targeted by the opposite lane tower. So you can get some really good damage there, but just be worried about the fact that it's very easy to get a King Tower activation from that position. Now, the other way that you can play a Minor to really change things up is playing the Minor right here on the inside and then playing a card on the opposite lane. So you might do this a lot with Wallbreakers or Evo Bats, and both towers will target the Minor, and you can get damage on the opposite lane while still chipping the left side. I like to use this push even against the Dagger Duchess, and I like to do it so I can outcycle my opponent and really mix them up with which side I'm going for. Now that we have the Minor placements down, how do we defend against pushes using Minor Poison in the most effective way? Defending with Minor Poison is honestly a lot easier than people think, and I will give you guys the exact cheat code on how to do this so you can do it every time easy peasy. There are two main things that you have to be paying attention to when you're defending using Minor Poison, and this is the most important part of it. The first part is going to be your building, and the second part is going to be your Little Prince or Champion card. Now, the building that you're using in Minor Poison might change. A lot of people use Evo Tesla, and that's the one that I personally would recommend, but some people do like to use Bomb Tower, and if you're a menace to society, you might run Inferno Tower. When you're going for your defensive building placement, I like to play it right here in the middle, a little bit lower, and the reason for that is if the opponent plays a Giant or a heavy tank card, then you can pull the Giant in really low and get both towers to fire on the Giant. Now, usually you can go for this placement at least once, but you do have to start changing it up, especially if they're going to be predicting using spells. So anywhere here in the middle is a safe place that you can pull any card, and you can change how high up it is. Your defense becomes very simple in this position because all you have to do is keep pulling their cards away from the Tesla and let your Tesla and King Tower fire on their troops, and it becomes a really easy and valuable defense, and you usually come out on top on Elixir after this. The only time that this might change is when you're playing against a card like Balloon. You need to make sure that you time the Tesla placement perfectly so that you're pulling the Balloon in, and sometimes it's a little bit more off to the side. You can also use your Tesla to pull cards up high. So when I'm playing against Lava Hound, I like to pull the Lava Hound and the Balloon up high to separate the two and make it a little bit easier for my Little Prince and everything to take out the Lava Hound and the Balloon behind. Because of the unique way where the Tesla starts in the ground, if you have it in the middle here too early and you time it wrong, you'll see here the Lava Hound just completely ignores it and flies past it, and the Balloon would have done the same. The second part is going to be your Little Prince placement, and this is the most important part. So you'll have your defensive Tesla, and then you play your Little Prince either in front of your tower or a little bit to the left to spread out and away from your Tesla so that they can't get spell value. Combining your Little Prince and your Tesla on defense, also on top of your King Tower, makes it almost impossible for your opponent to break through your defenses. You want to make sure that you're spreading them apart properly so that you don't let your Little Prince get one-shotted and your Tesla at the same time. In this situation here, if my Little Prince and Tesla were in the same spot, they would have both got killed by the Sparky, and I would have been in a lot of trouble to defend, and then I wouldn't have any ability to go for a counter push. Alright, now that we have all of the necessary tools to defend using Minor Poison, how do we win and get offense? Every time you defend using Minor Poison, you should be thinking about defending for the opportunity to get offense. And so you'll see here, I played my Little Prince, and then as soon as I defended, I'm going for a Minor Poison. And I'm making sure that the poison is also hitting the tombstone to get the most value out of my poison. And now that I have my Little Prince down, I can get my 3-card cycle, and I'm cycling my cards immediately back to get to my Minor Poison. And I'm getting them out as fast as possible, and this is where Minor Poison becomes so deadly, is getting that 3-card cycle down, keeping your Little Prince alive, and spamming the Minor Poisons as much as possible. Every single time you play your Minor Poison, you're playing the poison with a purpose. You're not just playing poison for the sake of playing poison. You'll see here I'm getting the pump while also damaging the tower. After every single defense with the cards that survive, no matter what cards they are, I'm throwing a miner on the tower just to push a little bit of pressure and get some offense going. I'm not doing this with the intention of getting a ton of damage. I'm doing it to keep the pressure on him, to force him to play counters and get a tiny bit of chip damage for the long run. Just to summarize, getting offense with Miner Poison is honestly super easy. You just want to try to keep your little prince alive as long as you can to get a 3-card cycle. You want to counter push with your miner and apply pressure, and you want to make sure that you're getting value with every poison that you play. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this live match. Let's go ahead and play a miner on the tower first play. You know, I just kind of want to get a little bit of damage. I didn't put it in the, you know, traditional anti-tornado spot, which isn't a big deal. Let's go ahead and cycle our knight in the back here, though. He's also going to cycle a knight in the back, so we might play our little prince here on the same side as that, just to kind of see what's going on. The reason why I'm cycling my knight on the one side is to get to my Evo knight eventually. Let's go ahead and play an ice spirit. He's going to poison as well, so you know, we can just play our guards here to kind of split it up. And let's go ahead and get a miner on the tower because his tower is already low. The Dagger Duchess has used most of its ammo, so we can play the miner on the tower and get some really good chip damage here. He's going to have to play quite a bit of elixir. Honestly, I'm going to go ahead and play my knight here and keep the pressure up. You definitely want to pressure your opponent, you know, when you're using Miner Poison. Every chance you get. We're going to get some Ice Spirit damage, and he's going to be forced to play his Knight again to defend. Looks like he's playing Mortar. I'm just going to play my Tesla up high here. There's really no point in not doing that, because I know he doesn't have the Elixir to defend that. And we have our little Prince down, so, you know, we've got our cycle. He went for a really aggressive poison there, so let's go ahead and play our Knight in front of the Little Prince. The Little Prince is obviously going to go down, but, oh wow, I'm actually really surprised it survived that. I guess he messed up his poison placement, but he's going to be in a bit of trouble here. He's going to use his log, so let's go ahead and play our guards here. And the whole point of everything is just make sure that we're controlling the pace, and you know, we know he's lower on elixir, so we're just pressuring him constantly. Let's go ahead and get our miner down over here, because that knight is going to go down, and you know, we're keeping the pressure up and getting some really good damage. And now we're going to stop, because we know we're probably pretty close to even on elixir when he played those bats. So you know, we're gonna stop pressuring him now, but we have really good damage off the start, and we're keeping our Tesla, obviously, because we're playing Mortar. We're not really going to be playing very many Teslas here, but we can be playing it at the bridge for that Mortar. Let's go ahead and cycle our Knight back here, and there's the Mortar. He's going to go for a Tesla prediction. Really well played by him. We're just going to play our little Prince up high, and then I'm actually going to play my Poison right here, and that's really good value. He's going to log, so I'm going to go ahead and play my Ice Spirit here just to kite, and let's play our Knight here as well so that that Mortar doesn't get a shot on the tower. And pretty easy defense, honestly. You know, we made it out pretty well there. Let's go ahead. He's going to play the Tesla on the far side, which is actually a mistake. You're going to see here, because I can play my Evo Tesla right here, and then we can freeze the Evo Mortar, and we're going to take that Evo Mortar down very easily. And, you know, pretty solid position. Now we're going to play our little Prince, because we're going to get that 3-card cycle going, just like we talked about earlier. Let's go ahead and get a miner on the tower. Let's poison on those archers. We want to get value every single time we poison. We're going to play the Ice Spirit, and we're going to log. And look, we're already back to a miner again. So we're just going to wait a little bit, and then we're going to play the miner on the opposite side, because we're changing up the miner placement every single time. He's going to go ahead and play a Mortar. I'm just going to play my Knight right here to kite, and we can play our poison on both the tower and the Mortar, because remember, we want to get as much value out of every single poison as we can. But it looks like that's already going to be good game. We can go ahead and log that, and you know, pretty solid win. Anyways guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I hope that this helps you guys out, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one.